Hey guys, as you can tell, there's a puppy with me. There's a puppy here today. This is Franklin. Say hi, Franklin, everybody. Say hi. Everyone say hi. Say hi. Okay, no biting. Anyway, I'm watching Franklin today for a friend. She's a nurse, and so she needs someone to come and let him out and hang out with him during the day. So we're hanging out today. Careful, careful. Where's your toys? Okay, no hair, no hair. Here, look. Play with that. But it's time for an August book recap. I read a lot in August, and so I'm here to talk about the books that I read with Franklin. Sorry if he's distracting or annoying, but he's got a lot of energy. So, you know how these go. I'm just going to talk about the books I read, kind of give a rating, a review, and then we'll get down to it. Okay, here we go. My first book that I read was A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem. I'm not close enough to the camera to show you what the covers look like, so I'm going to put pictures right here. A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem. I gave this one 4 stars. It was pretty good. I read this one, and then I actually listened to the second one this month as well. So both of those will be on here. This one was better than the other one, which I listened to. Maybe that's because I listened to it. Like, who knows whether I would have rated it higher if I had actually read it. Like, sometimes I just don't know. So I gave this one 4 stars, the first one, A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem. It's like Regency, maybe not Regency, but like Bridgerton vibes, like the aristocracy in England. And it's kind of like a murder mystery. Someone's been murdered. The main character is trying to working to solve it. And she, obviously there's like a love story. Like, it's like both plots are equally as important. Like the love developing and like that plot line developing between the main girl, Kate, and the detective that's working on the case with her, and also like actually solving the case, which I really enjoyed. So it's not just a romance, but there's some dual plots, which I enjoyed. Franklin. He just went in the bathroom. I don't know what he's doing in there. Next, I reread a book. I reread The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood because her new book came out this month. So I read The Love Hypothesis to give myself kind of a refresher. Even though it's not a series, I just wanted to reread it because I loved it. The Love Hypothesis is 5 stars. I talked about it last year a lot, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's so good. If you like romance, it's based on a Rilo fanfic, so the main character is has that look about him, you know, the tall, dark hair, brooding, and her other book, Love on the Brain, is very similar. The main character is. Next I read Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. I gave this one 4 stars. This one is very spicy, kind of along the lines of the Bailey Brothers books that I read, just like, kind of like, just spicy romance. I read it on Kindle. It was very good, honestly. The plot is like fake dating, tropes. There's a lot of good tropes. So I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It's one of the better or more well written, I think, romance, like trashy romance books. So for that reason, I gave it 4 stars, and I enjoyed it. The main characters were enjoyable enough where I was into it. Next, I listened to Royal Flush, which is a 3rd book in a series of books that I've been listening to on Audible. Similarly to A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem, it's like set in the 1930s, pre-World War II, and it's like a mystery. There's always a mystery in each one, but there's also like an ongoing romance, but the mystery is like the main plot. This one was 3 stars? 2 stars. I listened to the first 2 and both gave them 3 stars. This one was my least favorite, and I haven't read like the one that comes after it just because I wasn't into the 3rd one enough to listen to the 4th one. Next, I read Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau. This was a book club pick for the month before, actually, but I hadn't read it because I didn't go to book club. But I still was interested in reading the book, so I read it. It was kind of shorter. There's like no plot really to the book. It's just kind of like the story of this girl's summer. It's not like plot driven, it's character driven for sure. And the characters are good. So I gave it 3 stars. I don't love like a character driven story. I do want like more plot. But it was interesting. I liked the setting. It's like 70s rock and roll. I don't know. It was interesting in that way, but it wasn't my favorite. So 3 stars for that one. Next, I read The No Show by Beth O'Leary, which I had read The Flat Chair, also by Beth O'Leary, and really enjoyed it. So I was looking to read another one of her books. This one, honestly, it wasn't as good as The Flat Chair. I gave it 3 stars. I don't want to give it away because it does have a good like kind of plot twist at the like mid to end, but basically 3 women all get stood up by the same guy on Valentine's Day, and it's just like the story of all 3 of these women, like their stories intertwining with this one guy, and like why he stood them up and all that. So pretty good. Like one of my friends read it and she loved it, so I think maybe it just wasn't the right time for me. Like I never really got into it. I was listening to a book at the same time as I was reading this, so it was kind of hard. I don't know. 3 stars, but I definitely would recommend it. Like some 3-star books I'm like, maybe not, but this one I would say yes, read it, because it could be good for some people and they would really enjoy it. Next, I listened to An Heiress's Guide to Deception and Desire, which is the second one to A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem. And this one, like I said, it wasn't as good. I listened to it. It's about one of the other, like the best friend of the main girl from the first one, and the characters from the first one are still in it. They're just obviously not the main characters. I gave it 3 stars. The mystery portion of this one wasn't as intriguing as the mystery from the first book, so I wasn't as invested in like them solving the mystery because I didn't care as much. So that was kind of why I didn't like it as much, but still good. Then, as I said, I did read Love on the Brain, the new Ali Hazelwood book. So like she writes mostly science-based books. Like, well, her 2 books are both based in academia. So the first one's like science, and this one's set at NASA academics. The main guy's an engineer, but he is almost the exact same character iteration as Adam from The Love Hypothesis, because it's still a Rilo fanfic that she's like turned into a book, so it's based on the same guy. So he's that still like tall, dark, brooding personality. So if you don't like that, then you won't. It's like definitely Grumpy Sunshine vibes. But I thought it was really good. So I rated it 5 stars on Goodreads, it would probably be 4.5, but I rounded up and gave it 5 because it was really good. I read it really quickly and enjoyed it. I did a reading vlog of it, which will be up soon. I've just been kind of behind on editing. I have a week in my life to upload. Also, I think this will come up, then week in the life, and then the reading vlog of Love on the Brain. So if you're interested, if you read it and want to know like my thoughts as it's going, check that out. It will have spoilers, but I talk more about it on that video. So check it out if you are interested. And then finally, I read Truly Devious, which is a first book in a series. I read that for book club, and this book, I gave it, what did I give it? 4 stars. It was really good. Like, it's a mystery. Like, the setting is like really good. It's this school up in the mountains in Vermont that like has this mysterious murder like at the very beginning, and this girl decides to go and try and solve the murder and disappearance of the people like 50 years later or something like that. But then another person is killed, and Truly Devious is the bad guy, and the name of the book comes back. But basically the book ends on like major cliffhanger. Like, there's absolutely no conclusion to either the murder and disappearances from the 1960s or the murder in the present day. So it's like you're left hanging on both fronts, which I wish they would have at least given us something for one or the other. Like, they gave us nothing. But I did love, the characters were good, and the setting was amazing, and I do want to find out what happened, so I will be reading the other ones. Franklin needs to play and get his energy out, so I'm going to play with Franklin some more. But thank you for tuning in, hearing what I read this month. My camera's about to die, so I'm wrapping this up quickly. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I talk about books as I'm reading them on there, so definitely check that out. My podcast is A Brunette and a Blonde with Katie and Abby, and we upload every Monday on there, so definitely check that out. It's always linked down below. But I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye. Okay, let's